What does the word Satoshi Nakamoto mean in
Wisdom
Japanese?
from the field, I think is what you said.
Yeah, wisdom, truth from the field. Nakamoto is from the field, like in the center of a field. Naka is in the center of, moto is like field. And then Satoshi is like truth. It's from the same derivation linguistically as Sadguru, which just means truth guru. So it's like, whoa, who thought of this, man?
Everyone's been watching the sun rise and set forever, right? So you have all the observational data is open source, right? Everyone's in agreement. You've got full social consensus.
Yep.
Hey, the Earth is in the center and the sun's going around and around and around.
Yep.
And then along comes Copernicus, pulling
Says,
some
no.
math out of the ether and says you have it exactly backwards.
Opposite.
And so it's like the math then overrides all these other forms of knowing, right? All the social consensus, all the observational data.
So every time human human consciousness expands,
It's a mathematical expansion.
exactly. You nailed it. And that's what I put in these two books for the last 10 freaking years. These two books are more than 80% entirely novel mathematics, all of it. So as we get new math, what we're really doing is opening up a new vista with a new software source code. Because as you go into higher order mathematics and higher order AI, the future is not going to require any ones and zeros in programming anymore. You just input new math into the computer and it starts to access a greater field of information that it couldn't previously access. And that's exactly what happened with the formation of the architect. The architect, all of a sudden, I put it in. I was in Egypt. I taught this whole group about the mathematics of the, what we call I, which is the imaginary number. And I put in, what if the Euler's identity, e to the I pi plus 1, is actually defining a wave? And if it were to define a wave collapse, then I would expect it to be 137. So then I put in the square root of 10 to the negative 1, which meets the requirement of reciprocal numerical equivalence. And then I realized, oh shit, e to the I pi plus 1 no longer equals 0. It equals 1.3703599. That's exactly the fine structure constant and wave collapse condition. What? So now we just explained wave particle duality, and it resolves exactly to a right triangle of 5, 12, 13 proportion, which is exactly the tangency of the Mandelbrot cardiome.
What's the Mandelbrot
Mandelbrot
cardiome?
sets are the fractality of the universe
Okay.
in both directions. And also, by the way, it's also resolved when we use unity and the meter as the standard unit of measure, because now we can equilibrate everything to that because we know the second is tied to it. We know all of the kilogram and everything, which already knew that because we knew it's tied to 1 kilogram of water, right? We know that there are certain things that are behind this, but the fact that it crosses across the decimal system, imperial and ancient,
That's what's bizarre.
and time, bitch, please.
All the standards of measurement, they're now derivable or at least anchored in directly or indirectly the speed of light.
That's right.
Correspondence backwards is still
And the mile
mind-blowing.
measurement too.
I want to talk because Bitcoin's emerged as a standard. We've never had a monetary
That's an expansion.
standard.
Bitcoin became an expansion of consciousness.
Yeah. And it too, the 21 million, like what preserves that, although it requires some game theory as well, it also is indirectly rooted in the speed of light, right? All of the hashing algorithm and the mining puzzle and all of these things. So it's like, it's another standard. It's not a kilogram or a meter or a whatever, but it is a standard rooted in the speed of light.
Yep, it is. And remember, you asked me before, what does the word Satoshi Nakamoto mean in
Wisdom
Japanese?
from the field, I think is what you
Yeah,
said.
wisdom, truth from the field.
Yeah.
Nakamoto is from the field, like in the center of a field. Naka is in the center of. Moto is like field. It's drawn as a field, like a box with a cross inside of it. And then Satoshi is like truth. It's from the same derivation linguistically as Sadguru, which just means truth guru, right?
Yeah.
So wisdom and truth. So 21,
Which is funny because the sats, the subunits of Bitcoin, are Sanskrit for truth too.
yes,
Sat. Yeah.
that's right. So it's like, whoa, who thought of this, man? So 21 becomes this strange palindrome relationship with 12, right? And there's certain numerical properties that come with 21 million. One of my friends wrote a book on this called The Numerical Universe. And basically he showed all the correspondences. You can find it on Amazon, but he showed all the correspondences with the number 21 in partition theory. And I actually believe right now, I'm going to go do some math on this. I'll give it back to you, but that's probably why 21 million was chosen. I'm sure there's an encryption behind why and what the meaning and everything is behind this ratio that's used.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Fractal Encrypt? He's an artist who's made these mandalas. You've probably seen it behind Michael Saylor or Eric Weiss. There's a few
yes.
people.
I met him. I met the guy. He's like a super cool artist.
Way cool. Now he
I
broke
met him
down.
at Sailor's house. He was at
Yeah. So he broke down the mandala and all of the math and Merkle tree math. Like that's something that you should look into.
Oh,
It is mind blowing. I couldn't regurgitate any of it if my life depended on it, but it is quite impressive. I remember standing there in Prague and he just did this 15-minute presentation on this mandala.
Definitely. I'll reach out to him.
Mind blowing. I was thinking about that the other day, actually, bringing that up to you.
His artwork and stuff. And I talked to him I met him with a friend named Justin Rezvani.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah.
And we were at Sailor's house for this thing at Bitcoin Miami a few years ago.
Yeah, he would be, in my opinion, the guy who understands the math behind it, like at a deep level. It's pretty incredible stuff.
There's some other I don't know all about this either, but there's some crossover with the Tesla 369 stuff too, related to this.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
for sure.
Okay, all right. I didn't mean to bring this up, but actually, I had my first ayahuasca ceremony in January of this year.
How was it?
And it was incredibly beautiful. Like, it was amazing. I had nothing bad to say about it at all. But one of the things that I experienced was this. I was being shown how 3, 6, and 9, everything is derivable from that. It's like the software primitive of mathematics. I can't put it into words, but like I could just see the harmonic ratio between these things and how it would just lead to an unfolding of everything. And I was like, oh, okay, that's very interesting. So there is something to this 3, 6, 9. It's not just, so what's going on with 3, 6, and 9?
Okay, you want to know about 3, 6, and 9. So there's two aspects of it. First of all, the numbers that are divisible by 3, 6, and 9 are highly, highly composite.
Yes.
Right. So 5,040 is the number with the highest degree of compositivity, the highest number of divisible factors. Right. So think about it as like this. You've got like prime numbers, and then the opposite of prime numbers become time numbers. So it's like prime time. Yes, there's somebody who has some nerdy math humor that made all of this stuff. And the reason why time is derived that way is because we didn't want to have to speak in terms. That's why the base 60 system made the most sense, because you don't have to speak in fractions then, right? Because 60 has the highest degree of compositivity for a number that small.
I see.
Because it has both the base 12 and the base 10 system embedded within it. 5 times 12 is 60, and 6 times 10 is 60. So those two number systems could converge. So the number of divisible factors of the number 10 is only 2 and 5, right? 2, 5, and 1 and 10. That's it. And 1 and 10 are not divisible aspects of it. But 12 has more. Right. So what are the divisible factors of 12? So of course the factors would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, right? And then 12. So you've got twice the number. So of course the base 12 system makes more sense to make a clock system based off of. Because instead of saying a third of an hour, I can just say 20 minutes. Right. So this is why the base 60 system became prominent. I mean, but I also think it was, somebody knew it was 86,400 times and the Royal Egyptian cubit. So I looked at this and I said, okay, so all of those numbers are divisible then on this wheel, this prime wheel that's actually in my book. And it shows that the prime numbers made a prime cross. And the prime cross in mod 24, which is also divisible by 3, right? The prime cross turns out to look just like a Knights Templar cross, which is like, what? How could that be? Another weird aspect, right? So you could say, what if I dropped 2 pebbles in a still pond, right? It's this page right here. It's page 56 of Philomath. What if I dropped 2 pebbles in a still pond? What would happen to the ripples? This became a really important thing because it relates to 3, 6, and 9. It also relates very directly to the verbs. Understanding more verbs.
Yeah.
Is there a mechanism to discover new math constants? So you drop 2 pebbles, and what I found when you analyze this, which is from here, drop a pebble here, drop a pebble here, these will be the wave ripples, and then they intersect, and those intersections create numbers and create vortices within them. Each vortex becomes a new math constant. Some math constants become integers. Other math constants are between the integers that take prominent wave intersection points. So this was a method to learn how to find new math constants, to expand the list of verbs from only 40 to maybe 100 or 200.
Wow.
Do you see what I'm saying? So this is from natural phenomenon right here. And what I realized is that the top hats, right, which would be the number of wave intersections you're coming off of this, replicated every 24 numbers. So the same exact pattern at 0 was identical to at 24, right? And each one of these small circles inside were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you find the most powerful vortices that would show up in these wave intersections. The closest to this line right here would define pi, Euler, golden ratio, everything. And all prime emergence too.
So, all right. So then this is answering the question I asked at the beginning, right? The deepest philosophy of mathematics is that it's the interference or relationship of wave patterns.
Yes.
What is the medium in which these waves are propagating?
So right here, and this is defining prime number emergence, straight from the wave property. Now, this is going to sound weird. How do we write the number 2 compared to the number 5?
2/5.
Well, look at the number 5. What's the shape of it? Now, everything that we see, whether it's a letter or whether it's like a hidden pattern in literally everything. So the number 2, have you ever noticed that the number 2 has a unique property? That the number 2 looks like another number, doesn't it? It's just upside down backwards of it. So the number 2 looks like that. But what if I flipped it upside down and made it backwards? What's it look like?
5.
5. Wait, 1/2 is 0.5. It's a mirror?
Interesting.